We're filming here today at Woburn. It's the 2nd of September and it's in the mid-70s with glorious blue sky. It's been a wonderful end to the summer. In October, almost every year for the last 10 years, I go out to Alabama and I go to the town of Oxford. And that's where I got my Alabama head cover. You don't say good morning in Alabama. If you're a Mad Keen football supporter, you say roll tide. That's how you greet each other in Alabama, roll tide. If you're a supporter of the Alabama gridiron team. So, we're going to talk about now, having looked at alignment, we're going to look about the positions and the movements of the swing. Two critical words, position and movement. And I've spent the last 25, 30 years of my 40-year career not teaching positions but teaching movements. For the first 10 years I was taught to teach positions. I thought that was the way to teach. But teaching a golfer to get a position is like putting red spots on your face with a Sharpie pen and saying you got measles. No, you haven't. You just got the appearance of measles, possibly. So, imitating position, divorced from movement, is a rather fruitless affair. So, I'm going to walk in here with my driver. Adhering to the Preshot routine that I showed you a couple of lessons ago. And I set myself up with the driver. And the function is to create power. Now, if I create power with the driver takes me into this plane. Okay? So, I'm going to hit the shot for you. I'm going to load my shoulder, coil the driver, and release the shot. Coil, and release. Now, as it happened, I've just flushed it, about 270, neutral draw. Now, if the swing's a position, you're going to have to learn 13 of them at least, one for every long club in the bag. Then you've got half shots, that's 26 positions, and then you've got three-quarter shots, that's 39 positions, and you've got different physiques. The possibilities are endless. So if we had to teach positions for every shot, we'd better teach 13 of them. What I can show you is that when I step up to the golf ball, the club maker dictates the position. If you photograph me, there wasn't a position until somebody photographed a movement. So, if this is my best shoulder turn with the driver, if I come down the handle to say 6-iron, my best shoulder turn is going to be on a more upright plane. It's going to be a very, very separate position from where the driver was. To go to the complete end of the spectrum, go right down the handle like with a wedge, the same takeaway movement is going to be on a much more upright plane. And the fact of the matter is, your wedge plane is going to be something like this through the ball, and 13 degrees lower is your driver plane. So how can you possibly say that the positions are the same for every club? The moment a young teacher says to me, the club should be in this position, I say, is that true with every club? If they say yes, I've won. It can't be. The position will vary with the club, so you don't need to worry about it. So the first thing we understand is that having gone through our pre-shot routine, the pre-shot routine I gave you is aligning you and giving you a posture for the swing you're going to make. So, if my posture is good here with the driver, I will turn into this plane. You can see that if I go down the handle to a 6-iron, I'm going to coil in a more upright plane, and down the handle still further to a wedge, I'm going to operate in my steepest plane. And the club maker is really clever, because when he gives you a long driver, he flattens the movement of your backswing. And when he makes your backswing flat, he makes your forearms rotate, and he keeps your wrists very, very quiet. You don't need much wrist hinge with the driver, but boy, you do need to have forearm rotation. So when you have a 44-inch driver, the club maker is inciting you to roll your forearms. Then as you go through the spectrum of clubs down to say 6-iron, as you go to a slightly shorter golf club, then the forearm rotation lessens. That's why the position is different here. And the most accurate club in the bag, supposedly, is the wedge, where the club makers take you so close to the ball, he makes you swing very upright and very wristy. The forearms are very quiet. Can you see how quiet my forearm was then? This is a wedge backswing. There, a wedge movement. Forearms very quiet. Step back to a driver, turn, you see the forearms moving straight away. So, don't think about position, think about the word movement. 3 lessons ago, we talked about the pre-shot routine. Now, the pre-shot routine can be very laboured and quite intensive. So give yourself 10 or 12 seconds to set up, then clear your mind. Do all your thinking during the pre-shot routine You've got 1.8 seconds to swing the club. You can't think about too much in that time. I would suggest that thought for the backswing to turn the shoulder and thought for the downswing to hit the shot. Prepare, coil the shoulder, hit the shot. So, here's my pre-shot routine. I'm trying to make it mobile and ongoing and movement, and have a waggle or two, and then go. Don't freeze up on it. So, the setup itself is a series of small movements in readiness for two major movements, the backswing and the downswing. And what is critical to understand, do not think positionally about where the club goes, because there's a variety with every club. What I can tell you is, every shot you hit, from driver to wedge, has a shoulder turn. If the shoulder goes to the throat, you know that your swing movement is going to be sound.